Hello, welcome to Truth Run Seat podcast. I'm Terryn,
I'm Kalli.
and we're here to talk about all things Law and Order, the SVU, the Mothership, Organized Crime, fanfic writing, and more.
I guess we should start with the news.
Yes, that's what's our happy news first.
Tomorrow's your birthday!
Yes, tomorrow is my birthday. Well, from when y'all listen to it, it'll be the day after my birthday. It's on Wednesday.
Hooray!
But yes, indeed, it
So
is
I get
my
to be the
birthday.
first.
Yes, you do.
I'm Terryn's Barbara for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday
Indeed.
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terryn. Happy birthday to you. A day early, but still, I wanted to be the first.
Of course, you want to be friends. There's something else I was in. There was that.
It's what you get when you find a best friend who's as in love with Barca as you are.
Yes. I think what's going
It becomes our running
That
joke.
was all the castings for now, anyway.
Oh wait, no, there
Yes.
isn't.
I mean, was there anything else we were gonna say that wasn't about that? That was just random.
That was the happy news. Now we gotta talk about the sad news.
Was there anything else? I forgot.
Cameron?
That's not saying there was something else that I was happy before we got to this, but yes, again, anything else. I forgot. I had things in my head, but I forgot.
I don't know. We might have to add Found to the podcast.
And Found is amazing. If y'all haven't watched Found, like, what have you been?
Okay, so because we
You
just
have time.
the
'Cause you have
longest time,
time, like-
everyone's like, okay, so since we know no organized crime is moving to Peacock and it's official, everyone was like, okay, what's gonna take the 10 o'clock spot? And then we found out today they're moving Found from 10 o'clock on Tuesday to 10 o'clock on Thursday. Which
it fits the section of crime
a little
drama.
bit less.
You get the crime drama shows and the like crime drama all in one night, which I think was if we were gonna put anything there, that was the best thing to put in that spot. Never put anything else there.
Sound is very similar to. It's like a mix of OC and SVU.
It's a little bit of everything. If you haven't watched Found, you should go. We have time to catch up because this will be in the fall lineup. It's only like 10 episodes. You can hurry up.
Yes,
you
go watch
can go listen. We have time. You've all summer.
The main character, if I had to give you the description, the main character in the show is a mix of Olivia Benson and Anna Bell.
Yes. Like they help in the show basically on Found they the main character was kidnapped as a child and like she escaped. But like what she does currently is that she helps find the missing people, often people of color or like different situations in which the people aren't looking for. So she makes it her mission.
No one else wants to find or care about. Yeah. They go find them.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what happens on Found. But we won't spoil it for you. So that's all we're gonna tell you. But there's a plot twist that is involved in the show, but we won't tell you because you guys.
I know we've mentioned the cast before because some of them were at the SVU 25 event. So yeah, go watch.
Yeah, you should. I'm very excited for season 2.
Okay, so that was the good news. Now we got to talk about the sad and came out of nowhere news.
It did come out of nowhere.
It literally came out of nowhere. That Cameron, how do you say her last name? Mainham.
I thought so, but I
don't. Mainheim. Cameron Mainham
don't
announced that she will not be coming back next season.
Mm-hmm.
Boo!
She didn't really give a reason why, but you know,
it has not been made clear if it was her choice or not. But boo!
Yeah.
Like,
it's very random.
They better, cast another female because I like having all of the squads be led by females.
Mm-hmm.
Now our female lieutenant is going. So yeah, this is Thursday's gonna be the last time we see Lieutenant Dixon.
Okay.
Sad face. And it's not even just that, Cameron brought awesome representation for women, but she also brought representation for the ASL community.
Yeah, definitely.
We only saw her son once.
We talked about that. Yeah, we talked about
Once.
that last week on last week's episode, which is a good
This
one.
means
You should
we're
go
only
watch it.
gonna see her son once, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't know if it was her choice or not, but still.
It's
Boo.
we wish you all the best, man.
Yes. But yes, and the other news, Cameron, we wish you all the best. We love you, and yes. Cheers to whatever happens next in your life. Okay. I think that's all the cast news I can think of at the moment.
Yeah. What's up for
right.
this show anyway?
Yeah. Let's get to this show. Let's get to the review.
Okay.
It's
So,
the 500th episode.
The penultimate season finale here.
And the 500th episode.
In the 500th episode. So, it's called No Good Deed.
Which is fitting. We'll get to it.
Yes.
So it starts off, there's this woman in her apartment, and she's on the phone with somebody, and all of a sudden she starts hearing, like, something being her, like, messaging, like, intercom thingy being pressed. And she goes to investigate, and it's this guy on the street who says he wants to use her phone. First off, if a guy on the street randomly said, "Hey, can I use your phone?" I wouldn't answer.
Exactly.
You ignore it and lock all your doors and call 911.
Do not let this person in your house.
It's not what she does. She says, "You just want to use my phone?" And she begrudgingly opens the door, and the guy immediately grabs her by the neck. Hard. Because the next thing we know, she dead.
Yeah.
And it bad.
My mom was like, what you say is you ask for the number they want to call and say you're going to call for them. And if they won't give it to you, then they're obviously not serious.
I literally, as soon as she, literally the guy's like, "I'm going to use your phone." I'm like, this isn't going well. And then it didn't. Because it got worse. The crime scene was bad. Like, her eyes were wide open. And we find out that she was choked, stabbed, and sexually assaulted.
Yep. It was perfect.
Yep. Her name was Angela Hart, and literally all I could say was, "My God!" Like it was bad.
Yeah.
And we find they talked to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend says that she had, like, basically says along the lines of she had too good of a heart, and he didn't like that she thought that, like, everybody could be helped, because they found out that she was
the best in everybody.
Saw the best in everybody. We found out that she's a therapist for serial killers and rapists.
Yeah. I guess they need one too, but it didn't go well for her.
And I noticed it one of the very first time cards we saw, it said it was January.
Yeah. You didn't realize they were all that far apart?
I mean, like, all the other shows are, like, pretty on time. How did this one end up in January?
They're always like, Mothership is like that though. They always have, like, weird ones that have different times at the beginning than they do at the end.
Oh. I don't know.
SVU just seems to work cases much faster, so their time cards are closer together, but the Mothership ones are always far apart.
It was weird. Alright. They talked to, like, a food driver, and he basically says he saw somebody outside the apartment lurking in, like, a baseball cap. And then they, like, tracked the boyfriend's phone, and they arrest him because he said he was angry at her and wanted to snap her neck.
Yeah, like, some pretty incriminating evidence over here.
Yeah, especially what happened. So they arrest him. It's not always as it seems. And he's like, "No, it wasn't me. I didn't mean it." And they're like, "Well, we have somebody witnessed you there with a baseball cap." It's like, yeah, like, I'm the only guy in New York who wears a freaking baseball cap and a hoodie. Exactly. Dixon is watching the interrogation, which is cool, and we find out the boyfriend, like, tells And she walks in and she like gives the boyfriend a list of
like people she could have been in contact with.
signs that Angela had that like could have possibly done this, and like if asked him to point out if any name looked familiar. And he points out the name of someone named Sean Payne. And she said, he's a creepy guy, and he started sending her love letters.
I like him.
Great.
I gotta change your address. You probably
Yeah.
need to.
So then we get a conversation between Shaw, Dixon, and Riley. And they find out that Payne was sentenced to 5 years in jail for aggravated RAPE. And that was a deal. And Riley's like pissed. He's like, who is that? Who on earth is it? Who on earth would like 5 years? Like, what is it? Enough. He's like, they need to fire the no good doobie who made that deal. And then Shaw's like, yeah, about that. The good doobie was Nolan Price.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, as
Which
soon
is
as
the...
Riley started talking, I'm like, it's gonna be Price, isn't it?
Hold on. Keep going.
And yes, it was. And then so then they have Shaw and Riley go talk to Nolan, and the camera like spins around on Hugh, and you can see like he's like shocked because he's shocked that the guy is already out, and he's shocked that Angela's dead. And he talks about how there was this Sean's original court case. Angela testified on his behalf, saying that his actions would get better through help and treatment, and she really believed in him. And the reason why he only went for the deal for 5 years was because the victim of his brutal attack, Chelsea, just wanted it all to wanted it all to go away. So the best deal he could do in order to help her was 5 years. As he said, he says, I was trying to do right by everyone. And then his voice cracks. So
I actually gotta be right. Come out. I gotta go do something. So you can take. But I will be back soon. Well, not
wait,
soon.
how long are
I
you
gotta
gonna
go.
be?
We're gonna go pick up the TV.
Yeah, how long is that gonna take?
I don't know. Maybe
Wait,
back in 30
you're still
minutes.
recording. Am I continuing this by myself?
No.
I mean, I can if
No.
you
I'll
want
be
me.
back in like. No. Hold on. Okay. We're back.
Terryn built the TV and I took a shower.
Yeah. So where did
We left off him at Nolan finding out the guy is out, and then him explaining everything in the case with his victim and why he was in jail and why he did the 5 years.
Mhm. Yes. Okay, so the next part is no one gets a phone call. And it's a woman, her name is Chelsea. She was the first victim.
Yeah, it's Chelsea, and she's freaking out because she says that she also just got a weird love letter.
Mm-hmm.
So the three of them ran
To her house.
basically to her house. And I loved this scene because it finally, like, we've had so many moments of, like, you know, Nolan being kind of an asshole. If I have to
Yeah, we
choose
had
a
some
word.
rough moments the past couple.
He's had some rough moments. And now we have one where it shows, like, you know, his true side. Like, he's actually caring about this woman and he really wants her to be okay. And it's like, there we go. That's the price that we want. And so they find out, she, like, tells him what happened. She's freaking out. They show the letter, and it's similar to the one that Angela got. And so then they need to go find Kane, and they find out he's staying at a halfway house. And they go to find him, and somebody, like, points them in a direction of where he is. And then we get, you know, a chase scene.
Like always.
Yes, every single episode. But this time they're running down a corridor, and there's beds, and the guy's, like, moving beds, and they're jumping over beds and tables and up to the roof, where eventually the guy has nowhere else to run.
Yeah, he tries to climb the ladder, but the ladder broke.
Yeah. So they arrest him, and they bring him into interrogation, and they mention Angela, and then Sean calls Angela the W word, which is bad for women.
Yes.
And Shaw immediately gets pissed, like the angriest we've ever seen him. Like, he quite literally flipped. He flipped a chair, moved a table, and looked right at the guy. He's like, say that to me again. It's like, damn. Like, two things from that. A, shows that Shaw really cares about women. But two, also kind of came out of nowhere. So it makes it wonder, like, what happened in his life that, you know, when he hears that word, like, makes him want to do what he did. Because Riley had to, you know, basically hold him back from pummeling this guy. Then we get Price and Baxter talking about the case, and Baxter thinks Nolan compromised the case because he's the one who took the 5-year jail in the first place, and Nolan again is trying to be like, I did it to protect Chelsea, yada yada yada. And Baxter's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna take first chair and you're gonna take second. And Nolan is like, what?
Yeah, he's like,
and Baxter's like, you heard me. That's what's happening. And Sam just gets left in the wind. Like, legit.
Yeah. It's a very
Hi, I'm taking your chair, you're taking hers, and she's just not a part of this.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of Sam this week.
When in reality, probably a good, if any case she should be on, it would probably be a good idea to have her on this one.
Yeah.
But okay.
We don't make the rules.
I forgot to mention earlier when they were looking in the Payne's room, they found Angela's necklace. And now the defense is trying to suppress the jewelry found. And they're trying to argue that it was legit found wide open and that, you know, they would have
counts as a home.
Yeah, but the defense attorney was like, they didn't have a warrant, and, you know, parolees still have some rights, so the necklace is out. Yep. And we get some more information, and we find out the election for the DA's office is a month away, so Baxter's kind of freaking out.
Yep.
This is important. And Nolan tries to get back in his position. He's like, if you're really concerned, I'd be happy to take the lead. Like, dude does not like being. Dude does not like being. Actually, I don't think it's that he minds being second chair, because he's been second chair to Sam, and he was okay with it. He doesn't
I
like
mean, it
being
was the
second chair
situation. Yeah, the situation in which it occurred is a problem.
He does not like being second chair to Baxter. And Baxter says, I'm not looking to hide Nolan. I'm looking to win. Dun dun. Then the boyfriend testifies and how he basically, found her body and everything. And then the defense brings up the
Missing anger
text
management.
that he sent and that he has anger issues and then apparently he has charges for 2 charges for battery, which she already knows because he was a bouncer at a club and they started it, but he couldn't get them, away charges expunged or whatever. And the defense attorney, her demeanor was so calm, it was scary. She's good at this.
She is good.
Very good. The defense is then again the defense continues to ask the boyfriend questions and is trying to claim that Payne didn't do it, but the boyfriend did.
Yeah, but we know he didn't because he wasn't there.
And then they bring up the boyfriend's name is Mark, which I forgot to mention. They bring up the defense puts the ex-girlfriend on the stand, and he says that he punched her in the face and she had to get stitches. So
it doesn't look
kind of creating reasonable doubt that he did it. But at this point I'm like, no, the dude still did it. I don't think Mark did it, because even Mark was like, he told Nolan, he's like, look, I have proof that she's lying if you want to put me back on the stand. And Baxter's like, no, the jury heard it. Yeah,
it's too late now. It's kind of
it's too late now. The lie has been told. They're not going to believe Mark. And then we get this really awesome scene with Baxter and Nolan, and they start arguing about this case. And oh boy, they basically are getting out every single feeling they've been having about each other since they first started working together.
Yeah, because he's like, you're just
Nolan,
because he was like, you're just upset that McCoy isn't here. You're like, happens conversation.
Yeah, and Nolan's like, you're just doing this through politics. You want to win this case for politics, so you look good for the election. And Baxter says, yeah, part of that is true, but I also love my job and I love trying cases.
Yeah, so we're like, oh.
But also, I'm a little iffy about that sentence. Wouldn't you not want there to be a lot of cases?
Yeah, I guess he likes to be in the courtroom. I guess he meant he likes to be in the courtroom.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he goes on to be like, I'm not Jack McCoy. I never tried to be Jack McCoy. Jack McCoy is gone. I'm like, okay, yes, thank you for reminding all of us of that. Still kind of hurts.
He's like, you gotta remember who's here.
You gotta remember that. And then, oh my god, I forget what he says, but Hugh Dancy goes into this freaking tirade, and I was like, it was awesome. It was pretty much like, I know, but he's pretty much along the lines of, I know what I'm doing. Let me do my damn job, etc. And so good. That's also, really the fact that he's able to, not only because he started yelling, but there are still plenty of times I forget that Price's voice is not his actual voice.
Yeah, that's not his.
So the fact that he's able to, so the fact that he's able to yell like Price too is also awesome.
Yeah. I watched him in Hannibal, obviously, in The Path, and and I told you, the first thing I ever saw him in was Ella Enchanted with Anne Hathaway, and he his actual accent for that. Yes, we go for him playing a prince to somebody in a serial killer show to a lawyer. Yeah. Also, well, in The Path, he was a cult leader.
And a cult leader.
Yeah.
Gotta love the variety of roles this man can play.
Mixed bag here.
Way to go.
It was an interesting show. It was an okay show. That was an interesting show.
Yes. And I keep forgetting that he is married to Claire Danes, which like is kind of a big thing. And he has children too. So cool. But anyway, yes, we love Hugh Dancy on this podcast. And any slander will be shamed. Anyway, if you need to go, if you haven't, go watch that scene because it was good. And while they were both amazing, I think Hugh's last few lines kind of took Price's side of the argument over the top. And he kind of won that argument. Then we get Payne testifying, and he basically says that they had consensual sex.
Which is a weird thing to be like.
Yeah. I forget what else was said because the next thing I actually paid attention to was the fact that
I think he just testifies. He said claim he didn't do it.
Wait, when did they have dinner?
It was a very quick scene.
Oh yeah, Nolan and Stan are having like a quick dinner in their office. Again, freaking put them together. You keep having them eat dinner. Come on, the next step is, I don't know, dinner at an actual restaurant together.
Not in their office.
Please.
Takeout again. They literally eat takeout all the time.
And then Sam says that sitting second chair to Baxter more stressful than being first chair to me.
I think one was typed it. It might have been the other way. I think we were both typing at the same time.
Yeah, because
I
she
think
says
it was supposed to be second chair to Baxter, more second chair to me. I think that's what it was supposed to say, but both of us.
No, it's not. It says it. No, it's because she says it is sitting second chair to Baxter more stressful than being first chair to me. Basically, she's saying it's being under Baxter more stressful than having to be in charge of me. And Nolan is like, it's like a whole another thing. And then looking through some of the crime photos, and then all of a sudden they find a picture of Angela's leg, and they see a carving in her leg, and it makes Nolan remember that there was a carving cut in Chelsea's leg, and it was the letter S. So I always remember him. And he sews he started to do it to Angela, but for some reason stopped. But Nolan brings it to Baxter, and it's like, look, now we have an MO. He does this to his victims. He does this to their leg.
And they're gonna go to the judge.
They go to the judge, and the judge is like looking at it, and the defense attorney is like, "Come on, it's not an S. It's nothing more than a mark." And they're trying to explain, but
it's only like the first half.
That he didn't finish it, and the judge is like about to side with the defense, and then Baxter is like, "Nuh-uh." He literally calls the judge by his first name, and is like, "What are we doing?" You can obviously tell that's what he was doing. And he goes, "What the hell was it supposed to be? A work of art?"
I know. It's
like he was trying to mark her leg like he did Chelsea's. And then the judge calls him by
this little scene kind of sets the tone for the next episode. We haven't gotten there yet.
And judge says something about, Baxter. He says his name, first name, Nicholas, and says something about the election and whatever. And Baxter is not backing down. So the judge is like, all right. He doesn't say it outright, but he's like, okay, I'm going to take some more time to look at this. Basically, whatever Baxter said scared him a bit. Because then we find out that it's in. And it worked. But in order for it to work, they have to have Chelsea take the stand.
Yeah.
And
she did not want to. That's what the whole deal was at the beginning.
She doesn't want to see him. But Nolan is able to prepare her and comfort her the best that he can. And he does really good. She takes a stand, and he can see like there's times where she's pausing, and he like moves in front of Payne and looks at Chelsea and goes, "Take your time. I know this is difficult." I'm like, where has this Price been all along? I want this one to stay. I like this one. This is the one that we want. Chelsea goes on to say that yes, she has the scar, and she goes on to say that she got a tattoo to cover up the scar. Basically, she wanted to erase the evil out of it that he left.
Yeah.
And then,
The
they
fence is
ask,
trying to argue something.
yeah, Nolan is trying to ask her to point out who did this to her. And she's like curling up into a ball and is starting to hesitate. And the defense is trying to argue it. And Nolan is like, please, please, have some respect. And she looks right at him, and he looks right at her, and she's like, don't worry, you're safe. Basically, give her a damn break, lady, and give her a minute. Don't go jumping down her throat. And then she's able to point him out, but you can tell like her hand is shaking still as she pointed him out. But she's able to calm down just for the moment to do it. Then we get the verdict. And he's found guilty.
Yep.
Which, was expected, but yay. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier that after their argument, when Price brought the pictures in, they like kind of made up, and basically they were like, because Nolan made, oh, actually no, they kind of made up, and later after the verdict, he said, Baxter says to Price, well done, Nolan. Nolan says, you too. And he goes on because he made a comment about this in the argument. And Price says, for what it's worth, I didn't call you a carnival barker when you got here, which is funny. Because, that's kind of how he started, but Price is like, I didn't call you that. That's not what I said. But it's funny that Baxter thought that's what Price thought. And then, unfortunately, the episode doesn't end on a necessarily happy note. Because Nolan gets a phone call, and Chelsea's in the ER because after she testified, she tried to herself. She tried to unalive herself.
Yeah, that just ends. And that's it.
Like, it
You're like,
traumatized her so much. She tried to unalive herself. Pretty much going back to the title, No Good Deed. Like, they did it. They got the guy in jail, but Chelsea could have died.
At what cost?
Yeah, exactly. At what cost? Okay. I give this one 4 stars. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Needed more Sam.
Yeah.
But I accept the Baxter and Price finally hashing it out because they've been butting heads and
rift since ever since.
Yeah, the rift since he started, but they didn't actually say anything. Now they finally did.
They didn't talk it out. They talked it out, which is good responsibility.
Okay, so next week. Oh boy.
Next week
Thursday, whatever. I'm so used to saying next week. Anyway.
Yeah, because we used to record earlier in the week, but then we kind of hadn't. But anyway.
I busy. Life.
Yeah, season finale. Wow.
Yeah, like, do you have the title and the summary?
In Harm's Way. It's called In Harm's Way. Hold on. It says, when a sports star is killed, Shaw and Riley suspect the shooter missed their intended target. Baxter's daughter comes forward as a witness, but public testimony could impact his re-election.
Okay, so we get to meet his kid. Cool. But basically,
people keep comparing this to the the show he was on, Scandal. That's what people keep saying.
That's legit what I thought of. I didn't watch a whole bunch of it, but like I know enough to be like, yeah, because he played the president, and and it'll make more sense in a second. So the promo, Baxter's at this like really fancy red carpet event, like he's in a tux and everything, and then all of a sudden there's gunshots.
There's
the person he is
somebody's on the
literally
ground.
holding arms with a second ago is now on the ground, dead. And they basically go on to they do some investigation, and Dixon basically has to go to him and be like, they weren't trying to go after her. They were trying, their target was you. And you see his face all shocked. Basically, yeah, people are like Scandal because there was pretty darn sure there was an assassination attempt of his president character, and now there's this. So yeah. Somebody wants to kill Baxter for whatever reason.
Yeah. I think the last episode kind of set that up a little bit about the bit of drama he had with the judge and all the other
there's
stuff.
people who like
it subtly
his
slid it in
enemies.
there. He's made enemies really fast.
Very
It's kind
quickly.
of subtly in there.
I'm hoping, I don't know if they like knew Cameron was leaving before or after they filmed the finale, and if it was before, I'm hoping they do right at her character. Like leave it open if she wants to come back. Or so we can keep writing her.
I mean, we can always keep writing. We don't care about Cameron. When did we care about Cameron? We do whatever we want.
And I think they had clips of the 500th episode, and they literally were all wearing their clothes from this episode, because I remember Odelia was wearing this like white button down, which Sam was wearing in the episode, but there was a jacket over it. So literally they were all filming. They went to go eat cake and have fun with balloons and have fun with each other, and then filming again.
Yeah, but already back to work on.
Okay. Wait, you didn't say what you give this episode. I said I give it 4 stars.
I said 4. I also said 4.
Oh, yes. It was a good one. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to take a quick food break. And then we're going to come back and talk about SVU and OC. Oh, boy.
Things to say.
We got things to dig into.
Both about the show and about people watching.
A lot of other things.
Mama Terryn has to come out again.
Hey, I said we were gonna do it together.
Yeah. I forgot my whole tangent. I should have wrote it down beforehand. I guess I'll remember when I'm talking.
We're just gonna have to do it as is. Alright, we'll be back.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh. Hold on. I forgot to stop recording first. Stop recording. Stop.
Okay, we're back.
We're back again for like the 3rd time, but we're back.
Yes, okay. There's SVU time. But before we
get into the talk,
we need to have a talk.
Yes.
So, with the end of the season comes end of the season interviews and articles.
Yes.
And Parade.com recently did one with Mariska. And one of the last question.
Well, initially it was about her Mariska's partnership with Purina with the Purple Leaf Project, which is something you should support.
Yes, if you don't know what it is, it's basically helping. It's a program that it's looking to open more domestic violence shelters that
are pet
allow animals that are pet friendly, because there's a lot of women and people who won't leave their abusive relationships because they can't leave their pets. Like, they won't leave their pets with the abusive person, and therefore they won't leave the abusive relationship. So, Mariska's working to make more shelters that are pet friendly, so that everybody so that both the partner and the pet stay safe.
Yes.
Which is great. And I watched the interview with my mom, and my mom was like, I was like, she's so inspiring. And my mom was like, she really is. And then we both started getting emotional because I swear to God, everything this woman does is just
Phenomenal.
yes, phenomenal and a way to give back. And it's like, yes, support this.
I get my water first.
Whether you have a pet or not, support it.
Appreciate
Okay, now back to the article. So yes, they were asking her about her new project, and then they got to SVU, and then the last question was, and I'm going to read it. And I'm going to show it verbatim. This is verbatim, reading it from my phone. I'm not making this up. The question was, before we wrap, do you have a message for Olivia and Elliot shippers?
No, I wouldn't.
And Mariska says, and I quote, "No, only because I've been asked this question so many times, I can't deal with it. I want them to ship female empowerment. I want them to ship good leadership and the fact that we are in it together. I want them to ship fierce female friendships and women supporting women and allowing each other and ourselves to have our voice."
Like, boom.
I drop.
I need it. And I said, oh. We had TV remotes. I don't know what you have, but I had a TV.
I could use my phone. Mic drop.
I have a TV remote. Putting it on.
So in other words, Mariska is done with all you asking about that.
She said, stop.
She said, stop. I can't deal with it.
Because it's really bad. Y'all aren't like internet people like we are.
If that's legit, the only questions you're willing to ask about the show that isn't even about this, then
not her impact on survivors, not on leadership, not on any feminism, not any of these other things.
Also, the fact that this article literally, she said this all literally the week after the episode with Kalli.
Yeah, this was like last. Yep, it was before the show had come on last week.
Then of course, there was a handful of us who were like, finally, speaking her truth. Yay. And then everybody else went on a tirade.
They did. It was awful. It was really bad.
And basically bashed Mariska.
Right. Every good thing she ever done.
Don't call yourself a fan if you're going to bash her.
Exactly. Don't. Get off the internet.
You bash somebody, you're not a fan.
Like, don't have her as your icon. I see you on Twitter. We're unfortunately addicted to Twitter, so I see you.
We see you. Time for a little lesson, y'all. We said we were discussing we're gonna be which one of us was Barbara and Carisi. And you said you were Barbara.
Because I was actually at that time.
You're extra angry, and I'm Carisi. But seriously, enough is enough. She said it. She said what she said.
Stop it. Like, this show is not about that.
It's your truth. Leave her alone.
Like, when they're all like bashing her work, and I mean, they already bashed her family, but besides that,
and it's not even like she, before you come at us, it's not like she even said anything about Barson. She didn't.
Nope.
Didn't mention a word.
No.
And we are like two of the biggest Barson shippers there is.
Yep.
And we're supporting her because it's Mariska.
Exactly.
And if she wanted this to happen, it kind of probably would have turned the corner by now.
Yeah, but
now she's like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Enough
about this.
3 years, I think. 4 years almost now.
Yeah, 4 years since he's come back.
Yeah,
and she says she's done. So take the
hate. People kept saying that like she was like her activism was fake and all this other stuff and about her looks.
You want to say
a
you're
lot of
oh my
a lot
good
of
lord.
bad things. Okay, I was sick.
Ooh, time to go into a list of all of the stuff she's done since she started.
That would take us a long time.
Okay, fine. I won't say everything. I'll do the highlights.
We'll make an episode about that, or some random episode where we have plenty of time to make random episodes about anything.
She did not know when she started SVU, and she said this in the Good Morning America thing the other day. She said she saw the statistics and just was at a loss of why people weren't talking about this because it was that important.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since then, Mariska is a big reason why this is a conversation in people's homes and work and anywhere else. He took Olivia Benson and grew her past the show into the Joyful Heart Foundation, to this new project, Karina. Mariska is a huge reason why there's less and less rape kit backlogs.
Yeah, a lot of states have cleared theirs as of currently. Several states have cleared theirs entirely.
Mariska was. You want to say her activism is fake? Mariska was brave enough to tell all of us
her own story
when none of us had any right to even hear about it. And she decided to say it so that other survivors could come forward.
Exactly.
If that's fake activism. Then why on earth would she do that?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like she's risking everything for telling her story, you know? Because it takes a lot. See, of course, unfortunately, people aren't going to always believe you. All that other stuff. That's crazy. That's the most sin. Oh, it was about. People who say, sorry, I like scrolling Twitter. It makes me busy sometimes. But about how people are like, if EO doesn't happen, I'm done. Okay, there's the door.
Yeah, legit, just go.
20 years. The show has been on 10 years without him, and they increased in ratings. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, really.
I had to be spicy.
And as much as we love OC, one of them is going to Peacock and one of them staying on NBC.
Yeah.
Just
NBC saw NBC saw their money's worth, I guess. You know, and that's what he's been on.
I'm very grateful it's going to Peacock because I still need the show in my life, but
because they were gonna, they could have canceled it, but they didn't. You know, we'll talk about that when we get there because we pretty much said it already.
About Mariska sharing her story, she's at the forefront of a TV show that has been running for 25.
That's what I'm talking about. It's on for 25 years.
She's at the forefront of it on primetime TV.
Longest running TV drama.
Longest running TV drama. Longest running TV female character at this point.
I think she's character period.
Why?
Longest running TV character period. There is no other longest
story. Why would she risk all that by telling her story if all of this didn't really mean something to her?
Exactly. And it really, really makes us upset about that. Like, you have these things to say about her. Like,
the show is more.
Like, you wouldn't say any of this to her face, so why would you say it on the internet? Especially on an app that she's not on.
Dare say any. So angry, I'm sneezing. If you dare say this to her face, shame on you. Shame. There's a reason she's no longer on Twitter.
Exactly. It's not just Elon either. But you know, part of it was y'all. Don't just say it was Elon.
Shame. This show is more than chips.
It really is. I was like, I'd rather have nothing. Exactly. We'd rather have nothing, no chip at all.
Actually, I can't say that because if you saw the original drafts, it kind of was. But
it kind of was, and then they took that, which is for the best.
Yes. Hey, the fact that they didn't go with the original thing shows a lot. Just say it.
Because that would have been real weird.
It would have been weird as frick. Anyway, the show is not about shit. It is about the survivors and it is about the stories being told. Some of which are ripped from the headlines and actual
they may claim they're not. They may not claim that they're not, but they are. Alexa, no one touches people.
Like,
No.
it just baffles me how many people will just like flip a switch in an instant. She says something they like, they're all for
They're
her.
like,
She says something they don't like, down with Mariska. Like,
exactly. I'm confused. Like, get yourselves together. Get off
not
the internet.
being
Cut
fair
scraps.
weather
Something.
shameful fans.
It's really bad because real bad. Because we talked about this a couple times about how like we are not EO people, and we talked about why we are not EO people, and part
Yeah,
of that is the fans because they're just
legit.
awful. Some of y'all are just. It's okay if you should and listen to this podcast, but like some of you gotta talk to your friends. You gotta talk to your friends about
We're not all
not
perfect,
being.
but
Talk to your friends about being better people because it's not good. Like Like that's it, because some of y'all forget that like she's a real person with real feelings. Like some of you have lost touch with reality or something. Because she's a real person with real feelings, and it's not
hey,
good.
let's put this into perspective. What would you do if her kids
Yes,
saw what you were saying about her?
exactly. You don't even care what her husband says because y'all don't talk about him too. But
Yeah, really. You all go on and on about her husband too. So just think about the kids. What would you do if her kids saw what you were saying?
exactly. Because some of y'all are we're like, okay, I have to put it out there. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care if I get canceled for this. But please, Kriska is not a real thing. Please get yourselves together.
God.
Stop.
Somebody had to say it.
Stop.
It's not
Get
real.
some
They're both married. They both have kids.
happily, very happily married.
They're both
So please
happily
stop.
married. They both have kids. Heck,
Please
I'm
stop.
pretty sure Mariska is the godmother of Chris's kid, for God's
Yeah.
sakes.
I'm pretty certain. Pretty certain on that thing. Like, y'all gonna stop this week.
Like, no.
Yeah. And I've also seen people who are like blaming her because
It hasn't
they're
happened.
like,
I'm sorry,
it was that.
guys.
They blamed her for that. They blamed her for like leading them on. I'm like, you made that up in your own head. No one promised you anything. It's a thing called marketing and PR for a reason.
And
They have to, bring the money in. And then
the
they have to do
leader of OC has even gone on record saying he kind of wants it to stop, but guess what? It's not. So
Yeah, they literally interviewed please no. He actually said he wanted OC canceled, but he said that.
oh, guess what? It's not.
That's what he said.
We'll get to
Actually, he
that.
said he didn't want.
We'll get
He
to that
won't
when we
do it
talk
anymore.
about OC. Because boy, I
He
got
doesn't
shit.
want to do it
But
anymore.
back to the original point. Leave
Please stop.
Mariska alone.
Please. Okay, this is
Maybe
your
I don't
final
know.
warning.
Maybe
I don't
for
know. I
once.
can't do it. This
Maybe
is your
for
final
once,
warning to me.
actually listen to the words she's saying.
Yeah, instead of
No,
like twisting them
try
to
it.
your own narrative and being like, oh my god, no, she didn't. You need to read and comprehend, please.
Yeah,
Like,
try it.
we're
Try it.
grown-ups, y'all. And also the most shameful thing is some of y'all we're grown-ups. Most of the people
Legit.
are grown-ups. Some of y'all are real grown. Like, I'm barely grown, but some of y'all are acting like teenagers.
Some of you are probably older than us, and you're still
Exactly.
saying this shit.
You're acting like teenagers. You need to stop.
Knock
Please.
it off.
Like stop. Be grown-ups. Be better by yourself. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
I think we're
And
done for now.
it-
We might
that's
be on
enough.
this tangent next week. Honestly, we might be on the same tangent next week because we don't know what's happening in
Who
the season
knows?
finale. What happens in the season finale? We'll find out.
We don't
If it doesn't
know.
go, we're gonna have to have this
We don't
conversation again.
know.
I don't know. I feel a little dramatic today.
I do too. I don't know.
I feel extra
This is
spicy
last
today.
finale. I'm scared. So
Yeah, we're not going back there yet. Not
no,
there.
no, no,
That'll be
no,
way.
no,
Here's a
no,
fun. Here's a meme I gotta send you. It's a meme about the.
no.
Hold on. There's a meme. It's a EO meme, but it's still funny. Yes. But so we're gonna talk about the show now because we had to stop rambling because we don't have all night because we had to get this up by Wednesday. Where is it? It made me laugh. Where did it go?
What?
Anyway, whatever. Anyway, let's get to the show. This one's a good one. I like this more than what I thought I was gonna like it.
Agreed.
Like we expected it to be like, I wasn't expecting a lot out of it. But this one, it really did.
It
It
makes you
gave.
go through a hell of a lot of things.
Yeah, that's why this one. And it is the 550th episode. I don't know why another tangent before we get into the episode. I don't know why any of you thought anything special was going to happen because they never celebrated 50th anything. Okay, they've always done 100. I don't know why you expected anything, but you did. So you set yourself up for disappointment. Okay, no one told you anything was going to happen. So I got a lot of energy today. You know, tomorrow's my birthday. You know, I have many things to say. That's my I have to get all the things out of the 21-year-old before I turn 22. I have many things to do. And drinking my water at my Stanley Cup. So it's called Marauder.
I'm looking for something and I can't find it.
Water. It's good at
Oh, found it. Okay. Yes. The episode is called Marauder, and it starts with a sweet little flashback to Shanna. We found out her name is actually Shanna, not Shannon.
Yeah.
Shanna's childhood. With her sister, her younger sister Crystal.
Yeah.
And we find out that Crystal was like a huge basketball star in their school, in their county. And Shanna was extremely supportive of her.
Yeah.
Her biggest cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Shanna basically drinking her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking her feelings at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to deal with your problems, but it was her way to deal with it.
This is in May of 1997. Yeah. And it transitions to the family's the mom and the sister and the the mom, Crystal and Shanna, are going to bike to their local pool. And Shanna and Crystal are about to leave together, but Shanna gets a phone call from a boy that she likes, so she goes to take the phone, and Crystal goes on ahead. And Crystal's walking by herself.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this guy pulls up in his truck and offers her a ride. And she starts off okay, because she says, my mom told me I shouldn't talk to strangers. But then, for whatever reason, the guy convinces her, and he puts her bike and her in the back truck, and that was it.
Yeah, she was gone. She was just gone.
I don't, why?
It's like,
there's a strange man offering you a ride. No.
You say no.
You say no. You said yourself that
you scream and you run and you go back home. You scream and you call for help.
You leave the bike and you run, or you jump on the bike and bike home.
When she was right at her house, she didn't even go very far. She could turn right back around, but she did.
You said so yourself that your mom said not to talk to strangers. So
why did you?
It just proves, unfortunately, that men are manipulative assholes.
Yeah.
And, well, that was it.
Yeah. And then it goes back to current time.
We transition back to the present, and Shanna has not been in to work since the Maddie's trial, and then the guy brought up
2 episodes ago.
That's true.
2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago.
Which was really twisted. And then Olivia meets her there, and she's like, "Are you okay?" Just like, yeah. And Olivia says, "That is the most no-sounding yeah I've ever heard." She goes on to say that the anniversary of her sister's disappearance was 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
She goes on to say that she was assigned a case in Wisconsin for the FBI, so she's going to be gone for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And Olivia understands that she needs to heal, but she needs to not go on a bender and basically be careful with, her drinking
Yeah.
and the cases and everything.
Yeah.
Sykes then leaves the bar. Olivia gets in her car, and Olivia watches as Sykes gets in the car with somebody. And then Olivia pulls up Crystal's page on the FBI missing persons database.
Mm-hmm.
And she's shocked. And Emma's shocked face is very.
It gets you every time.
Yes. Then we get the intro. Oh, and then we get back to Olivia has apparently been working all night because Finn walks in and is like, "Good morning." She says, "Good morning." She's got glasses on, which is
she's got her jeans. She has her jeans on.
And Finn is like, "What case are you working on?" The disappearance, like he sees all these like old files, boxes. He's like, "What case are you working on?" The disappearance of the Lindbergh baby. And for those of you who don't know it,
that is a funny inside joke too.
It is. Charles Lindbergh was a famous pilot in the 30s, kind of around the time of Amelia Earhart. So it's basically Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart. Well, he and his wife had a baby, and then they put their baby to sleep in their crib, woke up the next morning, the baby was gone. To this day, nobody knows what happened to that baby.
Mm-hmm.
2024, nobody knows what happened to that baby. Just gone. Olivia then goes on to be like, jokes around, and Finn's like, Olivia's like, it's not necessary. It wasn't a case I was given, and then Finn's like, it caught you.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia said yes, and she goes on to explain it's about Crystal, sister, and Finn is like, do you think you should tell her? And Olivia goes, no, and she doesn't need to hear it from you. We then find out that the guy is a marauder. And basically that means the guy like focuses on a certain area where he finds all his victims, and for him it was the Northeast because there's a few other girls. And we find out that
he takes a Polaroid picture.
Yeah, he takes a Polaroid picture
and they
of
were
the girl
each
in the woods and terrified. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's the Northeast because Sykes is originally from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And they go on to, the victims, and they find one that was like went missing in 2000 something or other, and then somebody goes, well, at least that's this century, meaning it will be easier for them to look into. But last goes back because he wasn't there last time. The first victim's family they go to talk to was Gwen Markham. Her family is basically like, why are you bringing all this up again? But also cops before didn't really do much, so they're like, look, if you're gonna do something, actually do it. Don't get her hopes up, because
what a tragedy. It's really sad.
We're we can still see our daughters smile sometimes, and it's devastating. Please don't get her hopes up. And they're basically asking about exhuming her body so they can get some DNA The parents aren't on board with that.
Yeah,
They
they do not
basically
want
go
to do
on and give details. She was also riding a bike. The whole town basically went to search for her, and
that.
she was found by a dog.
Yeah.
Then Olivia and Finn are leaving the Markhams, and she gets a phone call, and basically Olivia convinces Finn to be her chauffeur.
Yeah, because
As
she
they,
talks to there's a retired detective that like knows some stuff about.
as they drive to Pennsylvania. Um, and because the elevator isn't working, and so she tosses him the keys, and they're like, "We're going to Allentown." And then the next scene we get is Bruno and Velasco
But also
talking
like
to the
there's something a little bit funny about this scene is like the elevator doesn't work for some reason. Because she's like poking the elevator like 6 or 7 times. She kind of like pokes the elevator, like whoa, whoa.
Fine, guess we're taking the
And he's like,
stairs.
all right, let's go.
Yeah. And so the next scene we get is Velasco and Bruno talking to the father of another victim. And holy
This
crap,
one hurt. Oh
this
my
scene
god.
broke my heart into pieces.
It's really sad. Like
Literally
it's
the
just, oh,
first line is they're talking to this dad. So this guy wasn't very like specific on like what kind of victims because the dad was Asian and they're working on a laundromat. And the very first line he says is, "My daughter will come home one day." Nope, nope, no, not ready for this emotional damage. No. And Bruno's like, "Oh, it's really nice to have that hope." And he shows him a picture of her daughter, Kim. Um, and Velasco and Bruno are being so respectful, like tugs at your
mhm,
heartstrings. They like say
mhm.
she's beautiful. And he goes on to say, "I don't have a recent photo, but I bet she still is." Mm.
And then you go,
And he goes on to say, like, maybe she escaped. Maybe she's living her life happily. Who knows? I may be a grandfather.
and I would go,
And
oh,
that is when I
oh,
started sobbing.
it's really like, ooh, that one hurt.
Like, I was not expecting this scene to cause so much pain, but this guy doesn't know. And oh, God, I'm gonna cry again just thinking about it. It, it was
Like
that bad. It
that's a
was that.
masterpiece of a scene.
And they're like, why do you think so? And he goes on to say is, "I got a greeting card from her for every single holiday." And the Velasco and Bruno are like, "What?" Like that's how he thought she is like escaped.
Maybe getting them for years, like 10 years or something, a long
Years
time.
once they stopped, so he thought she escaped.
Hmm.
Which is why he still had hope that she's coming home. So they take the greeting cards as evidence. Um, yeah, and then you have a moment to catch your breath and
Hmm.
stop your tears. Um,
They go see the detective. Olivia and Finn go
yeah,
see.
Olivia and go talk to the detective, Ed McClus. Ed
I think it's close here. I
McCluskey.
couldn't tell.
Oh my good lord, Ed McCluskey. He made lemonade. He shows them a
Mhm.
corkboard of evidence he got, and he's the retired detective that was originally on Crystal's case. And yes, corkboard of evidence still.
Mhm.
And he knew Shanna, and he basically told Shanna to join the FBI so she would stop blaming herself
Yeah,
for what
it's really
happened to her
sad.
sister. Because basically, if she never took the phone call, her sister wouldn't have been alone. The sister wouldn't have been taken.
Yeah, she feels really bad every year about this.
Um, they go back to the bureau, and
Hmm.
they're all talking about the case, and Renee is like, at one point, is like,
We didn't
So
get any baked goods today.
we got no baked goods this time. And she's
Yeah, baked goods.
Renee is pretty much like, so
What do we do?
I'm assuming we're not. I'm guessing that we're all going with we're not telling her.
Sure.
And Olivia's like, yep. Then they look at the letters, the greeting cards, and they all had a tag that led to a PO box under somebody on the registry named Ronnie Givens. Problem is, he's dead because Bruno goes on and says we won't be able to talk to him unless you have a Ouija board.
I couldn't spell that word, so I think I spelled it real wrong.
You're close. It's OUJ.
I didn't know what the other letter was. I was like missing a letter, and autocorrect won't work.
And so they go to talk to his son. And like, the Velasco and Bruno are basically like interrogating him, and they're like, look, we're gonna go like look into all this stuff. And the kid's like, you don't have to. I sent the letters. They're like, what? That broke my heart again because I like had hope that maybe,
maybe he'll be a survivor, but apparently not.
Maybe Kimmy actually sent the letters.
No, they really said no. Sorry.
No.
Sad,
he said he sent the letters when he was 14. He was trying to help. He was 14 when Kimmy was 14 when he was taken. He kind of had a bit of a crush on her. And he thought, maybe sending the letters would, help the father somehow. And Bruno goes on and is like, what?
I'm confused by that.
Can I take you to prom?
Man, I was confused by that because what if they had different handwriting? Like, I was confused for how that worked, but okay.
Yeah, look, his intentions were
good, but it didn't turn out.
His intentions were good. He wanted to help the dad, like, think he was getting stuff from his daughter. But it didn't go well. No, sorry, but no. And then, like, he said he stopped because he got bored.
And I was like, that's really sad.
Yeah. And then we go on to Olivia has a scene where she's talking to Carisi, and I was like wondering at one point if she was actually talking to Carisi or if she was faking it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way, they find out they can't dig up Gwen's body because the parents said no.
Yeah, can't do that. Sorry.
So they have to go to ask about the next of kin, which is her cousin Cal, who was really close with her.
Yeah.
And
they were like second cousin.
Yeah. So they go to talk to Cal again, and they ask him about helping, basically. See if there's any way they could possibly dig her up so they can get DNA.
And he's like, you don't have to, because I did.
And then Ed calls back, and he calls, and he says, I just remembered something, that the guy we had, like, as a suspect, like, got married, like, the guy got married around the time that, Crystal's picture was found, and then hid the pictures, which is why they boys in the wood found it in the first place. And then, so they have the lead, but then before they do anything, Cal walks back in to the precinct and basically walks up to Olivia and says that he did it. He arred and killed his own cousin.
And then you go, it's a little too early in the episode for that to be certain, It's a little too early. We're like, something's not it.
He basically goes on and he confesses that he thought she was cute and that he did it, and they'd started doing something behind a building and she was scared, so he shut her up. And he basically says he's doing it so everyone can have closure, including me.
Like, that's really
and then
sad.
talks to Olivia and basically is like, are you sure you didn't tell him to make a false confession? Because if he makes a false confession, they have to dig the body back up to see if he's actually telling the truth or not.
Yeah, they just didn't take him at his word here. They were like, we got to make sure.
And so they had the body dug up, and no, the DNA didn't match. She didn't actually do it, but they have the DNA now, so
they can trace
it.
Something.
And there's a conversation where Olivia and Curry are having a conversation. All of a sudden, they turn and they see Sykes is back
walking, and you go,
in the precinct, looking at all the pictures they have up of everybody, of all the victims, including a Jane Doe.
Yeah.
Which is, and it's like, well, crap, they didn't know she was coming back, and Olivia can't cover anything, so gotta go face this head on.
Yeah.
They walk back out into the room, and Sykes looks at Olivia and says, Jane Doe, you could have at least used her name.
And then you go,
It's like,
oh
damn.
boy.
Like, she knew immediately it was Crystal.
Yep.
But also because her 71-year-old mother called her crying,
Yeah, because
asking
somebody
why
asked
people were asking her questions about Crystal.
And I went,
And basically, goes on to be like, I told you to leave this alone.
yeah.
And
I
Olivia's
guess
like,
the pressure is mounting here. It's
yeah.
rather intense.
Olivia's like, but look, there's 5 other victims.
Yeah.
And we're this close to finding him. And then Sykes is like, does not want to hear it. And she says that she thinks it's a mistake. That coming to SVU was a mistake. And Olivia goes and says, well, I'm sorry you think that, but I don't.
I know. They're getting more heated. Getting heated.
And then Sykes goes on and says, I hope they, meaning like the victims she's helping,
yeah.
I hope they distract you from your endless
amount of baggage. I was like, oh. Listen.
So we already know Jordana Spiro has been on this show before.
Mm-hmm.
Twice, I think, actually.
I know she's in Final College Prelims, but I don't know if she was in another.
Maybe this is the second time. I think so, yeah. Anyway. We already know she's phenomenal, but the fact that she's able to go toe-to-toe with Mariska in a fight scene.
And I was like, cool.
She's so good.
I know, she was so good. We're like, ooh.
Yeah, and so she's like, I hope they distract you.
And she's not the first person to go to toe-to-toe with Olivia. Remember, what's her name? Yes, but what was her character's name? Sabo? I was like, yeah, you got that one person that went to.
So basically, any female actress that can fight with Mariska is A+ in my book.
And we're like, oh. But the next one is, before I take my comment on this scene, I will say that the next part. The next thing she says is, Johnny D, William Lewis.
I hope they distract you from your endless amount of baggage. And Olivia's looking at her like, what? And she goes on and says, Johnny D, William Lewis, you think you're the only one who can look someone up?
And we were like, oh, bro. She went there. We're like, she went there.
Also, she looked Olivia up. Also, this is the second time somebody's done that this season.
So
somebody made a joke on the timeline and said, was Sykes there when Noah was looking at the box in the closet?
No, it's like, oh.
Like, jeez. Now this is the second time this has been brought up to Olivia.
This season.
And a few more words are exchanged.
And then they just walk off. Sykes walks off, Olivia goes to the office and slams the door, and you're like,
White literally slams the door. And Curry's just standing there like, what just happened? Like, Curry's literally in the middle, just watching this all happen.
Okay, so then before I move to this tweet that somebody wrote, but people did not like this scene. People really didn't like this for some reason. People really didn't like this. I mean, like, people, okay, let's just say EO's not like this, okay? But everyone else, most of our people who, like, watched our friend circle was like, sometimes a lady has to be put in her place sometimes, because...
And it does, because she does some kind
of... She oversteps people. she oversteps, and then they get mad. She's like, "Well, I was just trying to help you." Like, you gotta deal with your own problems. You're distracted.
Yeah,
See, Sykes is
legit.
kind of right about.
Deal with your own
Sykes is right
problems
about.
instead of trying to
Sykes
deal
is
with
right
mine.
about that. You gotta deal with your baggage before you gotta help someone. Sykes isn't wrong. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so I pulled up the tweet, and it is by their at is at Crystalline Jen. And they say the way Liv has to lie to her team to keep them from second guessing her every move and tattling on her this season. Gee, I wonder what made her feel like that.
That went.
Because at the
Shit.
beginning of the season, when they were all questioning her about Maddie, when she's like, "I know what I saw. Don't call me crazy."
Mhm.
Now she's basically hiding things from them and not saying anything
Yeah,
because
I thought of that, but also a lot of 1.0 is that. A
basically
lot of her
because
partnership with Elliot has been him second guessing her for most of
but
her moves.
also it's like because I forgot that during the scene when they're digging the body up, Velasco and Bruno are there and they're having a conversation. And it's basically like, did Captain ever say why we're doing this?
Mhm.
And Bruno's like,
Mhm.
no, we just go with it. And Velasco's like, are we sure? Leading to the tweet, but yeah. In other words, stop questioning Olivia. She knows what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah, but she's also been through, like I'm saying, like a lot
She's
of
also been
1.0
through a whole
is,
lot of shit. So
yeah, a lot of 1.0 is Elliot second guessing her most of the time.
and
So yeah,
then
going through that for 12 years and then that suddenly same thought reoccurring again. It's just,
go back to the precinct after the fight scene. Finn goes to check on Olivia, and Olivia says, I don't need and I told you so. And Finn goes, have I ever?
exactly.
And then they get a call from Olivia gets a phone call from Sunny, and I noticed that in her phone, Sunny is ADA Carusi.
Hmm.
Um, so she takes her phone call. Basically, the cousin's in jail because of the confession. And then Olivia, like, they got to do something about the false confession. And Olivia's like, we're going to do it. Or Finn,
Finn
one of them
says
said,
that. Finn
we, go,
says that.
we do it the 16th precinct way.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
we find out they talk to the
Like
man's
keep on.
daughter.
Yeah.
We find out that they got a hit
Hmm.
from something. And the man that they're looking into has a daughter. And they go to talk to her. And she's like, no, there's no way my dad did this. Like, he's a good man.
He's been
I'm
married
about to
40
go over,
years.
I'm about to go over to their house because they're having a 40th anniversary dinner.
Like,
And
how
he's
sweet.
with his
Oh,
my
man.
mom. They go to talk to this guy, and his name is Richard Kincaid. And at first look, I was like, "Oh no, they got the wrong guy, right?"
No, I was convinced he did it from the start.
No,
I was
legit.
convinced
He
it.
go like
He,
he's as soon as he sees them approaching, he goes inside, and they have
he
to
said,
stop. And he
my
has
mom thought this was funny because she was like, why is this old man running? Why is he running?
not gonna help. He has basically what is called a flea bag, and
Yeah,
because it
he's
has
ready.
money, gun, clothes. Basically, he was gonna leave at any moment's notice, ready to leave at any
He was
moment's
ready. He
notice.
knew the police were coming someday. He didn't know when, but the police were coming.
And then Finn or Olivia says basically his problem is you hid them, meaning the Polaroid pictures. You hid them when she was old enough to find them. And his daughter is looking at her.
Yeah.
His daughter's looking at him like, "What did you do? What are all
Hmm.
these pictures?" He claims he found the pictures,
Hmm. But
and
no,
then
you
they
didn't.
go to the interrogation room, and I don't remember a lot of it because I was too busy being focused on the camera angle they did with Mariska and her
Oh,
glasses.
oh. So they could
And
have done the close hold on it. Like we can, as long as we don't play
mother,
the audio. Well,
mother's
hold on, I'm
mother.
on the wrong thing. Hold on, I had that. That's in my this was in my I say that bookmarked that because I like.
It was so good. It looked legit. Tara needs to
Well,
show
there's
us
two.
this.
There's there's this one with them side by side. It's just like
Ugh, I am.
That is the one with her when she has the chainsaw.
Yes, and when she's doing the investigating at the beginning. Mother.
Like, man.
I just want to know. I want to know what Mariska, like, if Mariska picked those glasses. Like, what made her think they were?
I don't know. She wears them even when
Yeah.
she's not in character either. So she
Yeah. Okay, so yep, glasses to camera angle. They're basically like, like you're done. Tell us.
You're done. Exactly. We're done.
And he's like, all right, I'll tell you where they are if you take the death penalty off the table.
I mean, you give 5 girls. I mean,
So basically, yeah, fine. We'll take it off the table if you tell. He's like, I want to, I've got like a lot life left to live. I'm like, dude, you're gonna live it in prison. What's the
you
point?
really are. They're not letting you out there.
He legit talks about so they go on to each spot,
The burial site where he put the
burial site where they dig up the other 4 girls.
He just talks so casually about it.
Casually about it, like he's legit like monotone.
He's like, she was so pretty. I'm like,
Like legit. I thought this guy was just like, I don't know, weird. I don't know,
yeah,
didn't do it. And then he's like, oh, they're pretty, and I'm like, oh shit, nope. He's one of them. And he basically
says, my life was pretty pointless until I did this.
Until I did this.
Yo, huh?
Excuse me?
Like,
no. And he said they were so pretty. He wanted to keep them pretty. So he killed them while they were still pretty, so they would stay.
I was confused by that, but we don't try to excuse serial killers, okay?
And then they showed Kim's father was there, and then your heart breaks even more. Like, now he knows his daughter's never coming home.
Yeah, it's a real sad.
Oh god, I'm actually crying.
Yeah.
It's that literally the one-time character has broken my heart. A million pieces.
Just showing the constant time of breaking your heart. But the last scene, so this is at the morgue.
Is at the morgue. And Crystal's body is under the thing.
Yeah. And Sykes is there.
Sykes and Olivia patch things up. But basically Sykes is like, why did you do this? Why did you?
Because Sykes, she found her purpose in being in the FBI and kind of like on the side of thinking about her sister. But since her sister's now case is solved,
like, what's my purpose now?
Exactly.
And she's like, why did you? And then Olivia says, I did it for Crystal. And there's so many people that hated that.
Yeah.
They were like, I saw one person who was like, if somebody said that to me about my sister, I would have slapped them in the face. And I see both sides of this because Olivia stuck her nose where it didn't belong, and Sykes told her she didn't want to deal with, didn't want her digging up.
She was content with not knowing. She found doing she was.
And
it wasn't healthy, but she was content.
And Olivia couldn't understand why she was okay not knowing.
Not knowing.
And so she decided she needed, if she wasn't going to do it, that she was going to get closure for her. And yes,
which is a lot of Olivia's problem. She doesn't have a lot of closure with her own issues in her life.
She's getting closure for everybody except herself. And yes, it kind of did work because it helped 5 families finally find out what happened to their daughter. But like the reason why she did it wasn't exactly the best. And then we get the last scene that once again proves that Jordana Spiro is amazing. And it's legit it's Sykes looking at her sister and sobbing. Utterly sobbing. Hand over mouth. Choking, sobbing. And Olivia is out in the little hallway, like trying to give her the space, watching, and she's just crying.
Yeah, people asked why Olivia didn't like try to console her, and I feel like, well, that worked a lot of time with Olivia. This time it didn't. it wasn't the right time or place because it was kind of her fault. So it wasn't the right time or place. But I've not seen the episode.
All right, I give this one 4.5.
Yeah, whatever. I like this one. I didn't expect it to be as good
It
as it
was
was.
better than we all thought it would be.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting much, and then it kind of was a banger.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, what's next week? Because I don't know. Not next week.
um,
Thursday. What is Thursday? What's the finale?
it, it used to be called Escalation. It's no longer called Escalation. It's called Duty to Hope. Duty to Hope. Um, this is where there is a special guest star. We don't know who it is, but that's
We're
according to
hoping
Moore's
it's.
favorite theory.
We're hoping. We're hoping.
We're hoping. We're hoping. Hold on. Trying to open the link, please. Google Docs.
While you do that, I'm gonna show this that you sent to me.
What
Because
did I send you? I forgot. I sent you a lot.
Rural
Yes.
went
Oh,
on Instagram and
yeah.
quoted a picture of Mariska and literally wrote, "Could she be more glorious?" No. Thank you, sir. Also,
Thank you.
Galileo got extended, so woo!
Yes. Yeah.
Now bring it to
But
Broadway so we can go see it
we can exactly.
and give
Okay.
him the damn Tony he finally deserves.
Exactly. He was fucked.
He literally has not been on Broadway in 12 years, which is
Exactly. Put that
shocking
man back.
as all hell. He has not been
Yes.
on Broadway. He's done shows,
But not Broadway.
but he hasn't been on Broadway stage and done a Broadway show since Leap of Faith.
Mm-hmm. And that closed 12 years ago too.
So yeah, bring Galileo to Broadway and get that man back on the stage so he can get his fucking Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
What? So
that's the little
so
other cast
here we
thing.
go.
What's the promo?
So it's called.
I literally
Yeah.
don't even
So
remember what it's about.
it says SVU searches for a pattern assailant before his crimes escalate to murder. Fan must contend with the suspect's aggrieved son. Carisi is pressured to close the case quickly to ease public concern.
Okay, so we know the Carice is in the next episode, which is good.
Okay,
Give
so
me all the Carice.
whoever this guy is ex-military, and they have like the SWAT, and they have all the people out there, and then the person is shooting at them, and then that's when Olivia gets in the car. She's also shooting, and then she gets in the car and starts to put that bad boy in reverse.
Mariska is literally driving backwards.
Yeah, well,
Olivia's
there's bullets coming from
backwards while she's getting shot at.
going straight through the windshield, barely missing the
Oh
car.
boy,
So we're in for it.
this isn't this is this
Like
is
the bullets are literally going through the windshield, and she's backing it up here. Like, so we're in for it. It'll be so fun. Maybe not. We'll find out.
okay. So we're gonna do OC in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But
that was so we were very excited for season finale.
Yes. Ooh, more pictures.
Oh yes, I looked at those earlier and I forgot to send them.
Look at how happy the man is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's all, during the show, but look how happy he is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And look how good he looks.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly. My God. Oh, and look, he's teaching. Galileo's teaching a little class. Cute. When I first heard about this, I'm like, there's no way they're be able to turn this into a musical. And if anybody would be able to freaking turn this into a musical, well, be able to star in this musical and make it a damn good musical, it's Roll. It's Barca. Look, more pictures. Look at him!
So exciting.
Look.
Really clear. Well, you can only see if you're on Spotify because the Spotify do. But
this one is still awesome. That's gonna be during. I think that's gonna be during Heaven's Changing or something. There are 2 of the songs out there floating out there somewhere.
So that's very exciting.
I should look into them. I did. It's amazing. Hold on. Although the reviews and people's commentary suck. Not
Exactly.
like
Oh, no.
not like the show sucks, but they suck. Like there have been a lot of Rules fans that have been going recently and have been like, he's amazing. But then also saying the negative shit about the stuff. I kid you not. This was on Reddit. Somebody fell asleep.
I said, bro.
How the fuck do you fall asleep when Raul Esparza's performing? How?
Exactly.
How? And somebody described it as a poor man's Hamilton.
I mean,
Shame. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Give Raul where credit is due and shut up.
exactly.
Like, seriously. How do you fall asleep? And legit, all the comments are like, I'm gonna fight this person. I would too.
Exactly.
Just forget about the rest of the commentary. How do you fall asleep when that man is performing on stage?
Exactly. My eyes would
I
be
would just
open,
be utterly sobbing or beaming or both.
keeping my eyes open at all times.
Taking in every second. How? How?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
Oh, and there was somebody else who was like, I forget, somebody was like he said something about his voice. And he or like his looks or his voice. And he's like that, the voice sounded like rich and something else, and then he goes, yeah, and it sounds older too. And the person is like, no. And he like softly said, thank you. Like, sir, we don't think
You were phenomenal.
none of your fans think you're
You're
old
very humble.
in
Exactly.
any
You're just very
context.
no. He's just
Like,
very humble about
yes, you're very
everything he
humble.
does.
You're not old in any context. You are still if you are 50 something and can still do rock musicals.
Mm-hmm.
That means you have skill and talent that nobody else has. And a very awesome vocal coach for keeping your voice as
Mm-hmm.
good as it is. All right. That's enough of a tangent for
Mm-hmm.
that. But yes, look into Galileo if you can. Um, support Marishka's
Mm-hmm.
Karina Purple
Yeah.
Leash.
You gotta get on. Yeah. Gotta get on
And
to the next time.
we'll be back. Or I'll be back. You keep going.
What am I gonna talk about?
I
What am I gonna talk
need to go change.
about? Okay.
I don't know. Talk to the buddy.
Well, tomorrow's my birthday. Well, it'll be past my birthday when you guys see
And I'll
this.
look at the bunny until I come back. If she'll stay.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
It'll be another year older.
You can all look at the bunny and listen to Terryn until I come back.
I'll be another year older.
I'm gonna play Taylor Swift for you.
But we can't play it on the stream because that'll get us copyright. This is
I
our
won't
live stream.
copyrighted, but I'm gonna play it for you.
We can play it on our own time, not on the video. We already have one video that actually is they there is a claim on, but I don't really care because we're not monetized.
Wait,
It might be able. There is a video
what?
that has a copyright claim on it. It's the one.
Why?
There is one that has a claim on it because it must be. It's the one from your birthday. And I believed we watched from your birthday a couple years ago. I believe we watched a video that probably was copyright claimed. There's
Yeah,
one.
it probably has something to do with Wicked.
It probably was. I could probably find out what part it was, but I'm too lazy. We're not monetized anyway, so I don't care. It's just one video. But
Yeah, it was probably
yes.
something about Wicked. because
Probably. I don't
Define
remember.
Copyrighted, but you know, because it's
But
that
yeah.
awesome.
Mhm. Very exciting stuff.
Fun fact: Rolla was one of the very first people who heard "Defying Gravity."
And he's a phenomenal at singing it. He's sang it a few times. You can watch videos of one.
Stephen Schwartz has played it for, like, he was staying with Stephen Schwartz, the guy who, the composer of Wicked, while he was in California. And he played the song for him. And he's like, you got a huge hit on your hands type thing. And it was Defying Gravity, which, he was correct because ask any person to name a musical theater song, and one of their first ones that they tell you is probably going to be Defying Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he even auditioned for Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And in a different timeline, while as much as I love Taboo, in a different, he could have been Fiyero.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I need a duet of him singing "As Long as Your Mind" with somebody. I don't know who, but somebody.
Luckily, we used it. Can we put it in a fix? Probably.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
You've written a lot of fics.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I've personally written 37, I think.
I have a lot, but some of them aren't done yet. So
I know. You have a lot in the drafts. Drafts is ever increasing every day.
That's legit. Our drafts are ever increasing every single day. Probably won't get any better.
No, it gets worse.
Until the summer, we actually have time to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
get stuff.
22 days left to go. 22 days left to go.
Mm-hmm. It's almost. Yep. And I will be going to Scotland in.
Yes, talk about that. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
I will be going to Scotland in like 26 days. And I'll be gone like a week. And then I'll be gone 8 days actually. But I will make a vlog because our vlogs are fun. I'll make a vlog and you guys will get to see Scotland. It'll be fun. I'll be going to different cities and such. I don't know if any of y'all listen. I don't know if we have any viewers from Scotland. But we can find out. What is this app called? Is that or any of you from Scotland? If you know anything about Scotland, tell me what I should experience there, okay? If you've ever been, leave us a comment about what I should experience in Scotland. Tell me all about it. I'll be there for like 8 days. Already. Audience. Let's see. Actually, no. We have people all over the world listening. So, most people are from the US. Some are from the UK. We have a small percentage from Canada, Germany, Australia, Spain, South Korea, Ireland, Switzerland, Malaysia, Argentina, Netherlands, Philippines, Bahamas, Brazil, India, Mexico, United Arab Emirates, I'm not pronouncing that, Sweden, Italy, New Zealand. People all over the world.
Is that people that listen?
Huh?
Is that people that listen to us?
Yes, all over the world.
We have worldwide traction. Sweet.
Yep. It's a very small percentage, but it's on the walls. There's some of you all across the world listening to us, and that's fine.
Which is awesome, and we love you for it.
Mm-hmm. Hope you're enjoying the show. Now that I think about it, people who live in other countries don't get to watch this show, watch Law and Order the same time we do, because
We're probably
We're in the
like
United States.
you're probably
So we're
so
like, no, it's probably either they're watching on a VPN or we're literally telling them what happened for them.
who knows? One or the
You
other.
may not have it. You gotta have a VPN. I probably should. I think I have to install it.
Yeah, luckily the shows will be over by the time you go to Scotland, so you don't have to worry about a VPN.
Yeah. But I'll be on the plane for like 10 hours, so I gotta have something to watch.
Well, I mean, usually on international flights, they have, like...
I know they have movies to watch and things to do. So it's my first time on a plane. It's the first time out of the country.
Ever? Legit?
Yep. Yep.
Dang. Okay, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Had to get
So
the jet shirt on.
hold on.
Alright, now we're on OC. Where's the thing? There it is. The episode is called Good Night.
Good night.
Legit. Just that.
Good night.
And there is a flashback of literally everything to catch you up on what this arc has been about, if you missed anything.
Mm-hmm. They do it every time, like we've forgotten for some reason.
And then we get another flashback of Joe Jr. when he was serving in Afghanistan in 2020. And they made Michael look younger by shaving his beard.
Yeah. It's kind of... He's one of those people that I think needs facial hair. For some people, they don't need it, but they do. It's one of those
Yeah,
people
it was kind of interesting to see him without the facial hair, but I definitely like better with it. And basically, you know, he's in a bar playing pool with somebody, and Redcoat enters with this dude, and he sees the dude pull a knife on Redcoat, so he interferes and gets the knife and stops the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But as
caught
he does
it.
that, his commanding officers walk in and see him with the weapon.
You're like, oh.
And I don't understand why no one was like, he saved that guy.
No
It
one
wasn't
defended him.
his.
They were just like,
Nope, literally nobody said anything, and they just put him in like overnight jail, and then he was dishonorably discharged.
mm-hmm.
So, unlike contrary belief, originally when we're like dishonorably discharged, oh great, he did something wrong. No, he actually saved the guy's life, and for some reason that guy didn't say anything, probably because he knew he wanted him on his side, but also like nobody thought to get his side of the story. They're just like, oh, he has a knife. Okay, bye.
I mean, from what we know about Joe Jr., he's rather rambunctious, so he probably was a trap. Maybe at some sort of... They don't really talk about it, but we know he's kind of a troublemaker. Just a little bit. They probably thought he did something again. Who knows? He was making this up.
Basically, Emery offers him a job, and he's been and known him ever since.
Mm-hmm. It picks up where we left off, where he's in the plane.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Lighting his cigar.
And they're talking. Yeah, you're right. It picks up where we left off. And they're on the plane.
After he's lit his cigar.
Junior has
which is where we left off last time.
Lit Emery's cigar. And they're talking. And he basically says, I need to lose you.
And I'm like, dang, he's gonna kill him right now. I was like, oh, of course.
And he's like, what? He's like, Emery goes, he goes on, and he goes, we stopped looking for monsters under our bed when you realize the monster inside of you. And then he goes on, and Joe Jr. says,
talks about survival of the fittest and Darwin. You're like, oh. And I'm like,
basically, Joe Jr. is like kind of realizing he wants
it's not going good for him.
But
not going well for him.
Then we go to the bureau, and Vargas is there alone by himself, and he is asleep.
He's been watching the cameras again.
He's been watching the cameras, and he is asleep. And Elliot, it's like his first day back or whatever because he's
Bottom of the-
actually wearing a suit and normal clothes, and for whatever reason, decides, I'm gonna go scare the crap out of Vargas.
Like, why would you do this? This poor man's sleeping.
Leave the poor man alone. I mean, yeah, it was kind of funny, but like, leave the poor man alone. He literally like puts his
Been
head
up all night.
on like the thing besides the monitor, and it like says something, and like Vargas like shakes awake. Like, Elliot,
What
leave
did you
the
do? That wasn't
alone.
nice of you. That wasn't very nice of you.
And then, Ayana walks in and basically, like, tells Elliot, I know none of this is easy. I'm gonna go talk to ATF in a while. And Elliot's like, yeah, I hope my brother isn't as involved in this as isn't deep involved. Like, he thinks everything's okay. And then all of a sudden we hear laughing. And we see Jet and Reyes walking in together. And they immediately stop cold. And everybody stops and stares at them.
What are y'all laughing at? What's so funny?
And Jet is like, we just happened to fill up at the same time. And then there's just more silent staring. First off,
Or like,
I think this is like the first time we've ever heard Jet laugh, which until then I did not think was possible. Like, we had written it, but like we always did like quiet laughs because I'm like, there's no way she does like audible, loud laughs. Nope. Now she has. Thank you, Ainsley. Also, like, their laughs, pretty darn good laughs. There's some people who have like really crappy laughs. They have very good laughs. But it's also like, guys, really? Even if you pulled up with each other, couldn't you have like waited a minute? Like, do you want them to think you're still doing it? Are you still doing it? Who knows at this point? And then we get Danielle's first tweet of the night. And she says, we don't care, Jet and Reyes. We know you all used to do the nasty. Like, I'm sorry. The fact that they all are aware now. Even Vargas, apparently. And then they're all just staring at the young ones like, uh-huh. Yep. Sure, you just walked in. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they're what they were trying to do with that. Like, if they're trying to say they're still doing it, or
they just being funny.
what? Or they're just trying to be funny. I don't know. We don't know.
They just left it like that. They like, yeah.
So then we move on, and Ayana goes to talk to Ayana goes with Trisha, and they go to interrogate Tyler. And Tyler's like annoyed as frick. But then he goes on to say that he saw Sham get shot in the head.
And they show it too.
They literally show it. No warning whatsoever. They literally show Sam in a chair, a guy pull out a gun, boom.
And that's point blank. You're
like, oh my god. Not Sam. He said he had to hide the body, and he thinks that Joe Jr. might have been there to get a fix.
Yep.
Trying to get a fix. I'm gonna get another Danielle. Oh. And then, there's a little spat between because Ayana was trying to ask questions about Joe, but not try to make it obvious. So once Tyler is escorted out there, Trisha's like, what are you doing? You hacked my interrogation. Why are you asking questions about this guy? And Ayana's like, I'm just asking questions involved in my case. It's not my fault. Your case also was here. It's like, ooh. And then Danielle's second tweet of the night was, don't come for me, girlfriend. Do not. Thank you. Yes.
Danielle's.
We love Danielle's tweets. I love
when
weird part is when Danielle sass kind of floats into Ayana because
Mhm.
yes.
My favorite one is still everyone still memes it. The one where she's at her desk and she's like looking. I saw that thing on camera one.
I still think my favorite commentary from Danielle recently has been once the things were coming out that organized crime was moving to Peacock, and she is like, I can't wait to say you're under arrest, like please. The fact that Danielle's I might get to swear, like, okay, please, come on, you can't tell. First off, I'm pretty sure even on before like SVU was on prime time that can't tell me Elliot didn't swear somehow. Not the
everyone's characters. It's just not allowed on that
not
rating of
the
TV
F
show.
word, a lot of the B word and the S word, and God knows we're getting a lot. Gonna probably end up getting a lot of the F word.
They're gonna love to say it. It's gonna be really funny.
It's gonna be hilarious the first time hearing it because be like,
well, it depends on if they change the writing of the show. If they make it mature adult, then they can swear. If they leave it PG-14, then they can't. So
okay, but come on, like letting Jet
it
swear
needs to be
hilarious.
Exactly, it'd be so good.
It's like
the first time when y'all, if you haven't, Criminal Minds made the reboot and they put it on Paramount, and like the first time you hear somebody swears, it's the funniest thing because you're like, they can do that now.
But it's also like technically Jet is still considered the tiny young one, so having her swear would be like, whoa, okay. Next what we're saying. Oh yeah.
The next one is Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot
gives some coffee.
Randall and Rose tries to give him coffee, and Elliot's like,
it's some random time in the middle of the night. That's why he's like, bro, like late in the evening or something. Like it's some random time that's not the day.
Caffeine doesn't affect me anymore. I just like the taste.
Like, bro, that's a lot of caffeine.
And then we see transition to Joe Jr.'s driving, and all of a sudden sees his car.
He's really shaky while he's driving, and he like looks in his glove compartment. I know this is later. He's really
he rubs his nose, so he was probably high.
And he was not having it. He was like,
and he's like, trying to get this car to stop following him, and he turns and he thinks he finally has this car. Like he's lost his car, so he gets out of the car, like trying to catch back, like what the heck just happened? All of a sudden, bag on head, dragged away, kidnapped.
And you're like, what? They put it in the promo just as it is. You're like, oh no, and then you're like
legit. It just says the thing of him getting slapped. Like, oh crap, nope. They take the bag off They take the bag off his head, and you see Randall and Elliot standing there just
with their arms crossed. It's like, oh.
Like,
it's really they really did clickbait this really hard with the promo. Could they use that scene?
We thought it was gonna be like Julian kidnapping him.
Bad people got no.
His own brothers kidnapped him.
They snatched him up.
He got kidnapped.
It's really it's not funny, but it is at the same time.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be funny, but it is.
It's like, dang, they really went. This is the result they went to, not rationally. They think rationally to say we're gonna kidnap him.
And basically, afterwards he's like, "Are you trying to get me killed?" And he's like, "No, we're trying to get you clean." And every time,
he starts talking,
Randall would put a he's like kind of gag his mouth while Elliot kept talking. Like, I'm sorry. It's like really Elliot is like the brain, and then Randall is like the
muscle. He was the muscle.
Yes, like for lack of a better term, the meat, the muscle, like.
Yeah, he was like, all right, you're gonna listen. He's like, you're gonna stop talking, you're gonna listen.
Shut up or I'll punch you, type thing.
They probably would have exulted to that if they hadn't gotten over, and they would have punched each other.
And I don't know if one of us did, if you wrote this, but basically we said only the Stablers would do this.
They really would. They said this is the most rational thing we can think of.
It literally isn't even about Elliot's case or anything. They're just trying to get him clean.
Yeah. Which is a responsible thing to do. It's a
He won't go to rehab, so we're gonna do it our way.
Yeah.
So much so they literally put him under house arrest and cuff him and lock him in the bedroom.
They really did. Oh, like damn. Oh.
And then Elliot gets mad because
Mm.
he's like, you know what? I know another reason why I'm doing this. Yeah, the unsolicited
The people you got involved.
the people
Not
that you
good.
got involved with. The reason the way you got the unsolicited substances. Yeah, my detective went to
He got
investigate
killed.
them because I was
Exactly.
worried about you, and now he's dead.
Exactly. He's like, you're gonna deal with it.
So you're gonna deal with this. And then he basically go
Mm.
like, Joe Jr. is like sweating profusely
Yeah.
because he's
He's not
coming up
taking it well. He's withdrawing or
like
like,
withdrawing. And he's like Elliot like like gently like pats his head and basically goes out and he's like, I love you. I love you. And I actually
for
think he means
once. And
for
for
once
once,
I
okay. I
think
was like, I'm on your side.
for once we're okay. He actually cares about his brother.
We're on a truce for now. This gave me a momentary truce again. I was like, you know what? It wasn't the most logical thing to do, but hey,
All right, then we go back to the bureau
yeah,
and
because
we
again,
got ATF got a computer.
this was
They
their clip
need
they showed earlier in the day. They always show
evidence,
OC clips for some reason.
and
I show like
then
two OC clips.
yeah, they give it to Jet, and Jet gives it to Vargas, and the two are talking while Vargas is doing his stuff. And you wrote that Ayana had a J necklace, but it was a little different.
Mhm.
And I wrote that Jet had a necklace that was a house, which is
Mhm.
cute.
Mhm.
Um, hey, so oh, um, and then the ATF guy was like, "Do you want to tell me why? Like, I found out my
Mhm.
interrogation was hacked." And then Ayana's like, "I'm gonna take that as, you know, considering you didn't tell me that Tyler had made a deal before I went down there and interrogated
Yeah,
him. I'm gonna take this as an apology."
I know.
And then all of a sudden we hear Vargas like,
He starts screaming.
yeah, screaming. I think he says
And he
shit.
starts unplugging things, and he's like,
And then Jet's like, what? What's going on? And I'm like, why is Jet just standing there again?
mm. He's like
They need to
unplugging stuff.
stop doing that. Like, just because they brought Vargas in to help doesn't mean Jet can't do anything.
Exactly.
She was there first. This is her job. Let her do shit. And basically the guy goes on and said there was a virus or something on the computer. The enemy basically has all the information that we have. Now we need to go get it back
Yep.
before it gets worse. Then we go back to the house and things aren't going so well.
Mm.
They brought Bernie's caretaker in to help, and I don't remember his name, but like the young
I
kid
don't
who
remember
apparently
the
is good at everything now. Because not only is he
He's good
good
at
with
his job, though.
not only he's good
Some
with
people
Bernie,
good
he's
with.
good with people who are going to withdraw, and he's literally giving Joe a sedative and helping him. And
He doesn't have
Elliot,
that part yet, but you know, the bus
oh,
sound if they
anyway,
bust through the window.
just literally they like didn't know, neither of them knew what to do, so they're like, okay, we need your help.
Mm.
And Elliot was cooking.
Some maybe he's just starting to kind of,
And then the guy is like, okay, give me, and like, what's going on? And then Elliot's like, he said I tried to kill him twice and told me to go to hell 13 times.
I think it's when Randall's like he told me he maybe 14 times or something. Like Randall had some quip about
Yeah.
himself, so it's really funny.
And then the caretaker's like, yep, that pretty much
That
adds
sounds
up. That sounds about right. And then we go back to the bureau, and Jet is finally doing shit, thank God. And she finds the server farm in the Bronx that they can
Mhm.
use to find the shipment that they're looking for and also get the data back.
Yep.
Yay. And then, so they all need to go back down, and they need Vargas to come with them to get
Yeah,
the
to do this.
data. And he literally is there,
He's so excited.
like Jet and Ayana are in the van, and Vargas and Reyes are in there, and he's legit so excited. He literally has a headlamp,
Mm.
and he has the biggest smile on his face.
It was a backpack. We needed the backpack
The
with stuff,
backpack is
but
like he's like so excited to do this. And then Ayana's in the band, like, oh, I hope I don't regret this.
mm-hmm.
Ma'am is like,
He was so excited.
Ma'am's like, sir, please don't make me have to pull you back out here.
Exactly. Soon it's gonna be. Dun.
And then all of a sudden, like, people are showing up.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit. People
And
showing
then,
up.
like, Jet has to warn them. And she's like, guys, you've got company. Guys, Bobby, Vargas,
And
pause.
something happened with that signal also, so they couldn't
Yeah,
like communicate.
the signal got jammed earlier, and the signal got jammed now, and they can't get in contact with each other. Also, pause. Jet used his first name again.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, we're just totally done with Reyes. They've slept with each other now. They're first basis.
We're like,
Okay, just
okay.
keep putting out the hints, I guess. I don't know. And then Jet's like, they're being jammed. I can't reach them.
So
So
the
Jet and
ladies head
Ayana
in.
take their guns and they're hidden in the building. And this scene is so cool because they use a bunch of different lights, and it's literally like
Yeah,
they're in
it was like neon. It looks like a neon, like neon lights
it's
are happening
almost
because
like laser tag. What
yeah, it's
laser?
neon lights. The neon lights, like so, they kind of glow blue in the dark.
Um,
Whoever could pick that as the because there's
and then
computer
these
lights,
guys are
like the
there.
big motherboards
Yeah,
and the lights, so they're kind of glowing, but like most of the room is like blue.
it's very cool.
Because Jet has to like, because he's like Vargas, Jet has to turn off the power for like 2 seconds before the lights. He's something
Yeah,
like she's
like
turning the lights
Jet,
off for like,
yeah, like
and
try
they have like 2 seconds for the power turns, the backup power turns on, so they have to
to
like
have to like
do all this cool stuff.
And so these guys start shooting at them, and Jet like immediately shoots back, and I'm like, okay, so Jet is a really good shot.
Mhm.
They like Reyes is trying to communicate with them, and he's like, Jet, nothing. They can't communicate with each other. And more shots are happening, and Jet and Ayana have like their backs to the motherboards, and they're looking at each other. And Jet goes, "Just so you know, taking fire was not my distraction plan."
Mhm.
Classic Jet, the sarcastic moment. And Ayana's like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I figured." If
Mhm.
anything, Jet's distraction plan would be seduce until the guys are totally distracted, and then get the one up on
Mhm.
them and be like,
It's
"Thanks,
like
bye."
uh, they fall
And
for it every
then
time.
they would all be angry, and she'd be like, "I don't give a shit. You're going first."
But they fall for it every time.
I do fall for it every time because she's just that good at it. This is why I call her Black Widow, because she's that good at it.
Mhm.
Um, then Reyes is like, he sees another guy coming off over, and he's like trying to tell Vargas like he has to go, and like Vargas is like,
Mhm.
I can't, I have to finish this. So Reyes is like, all right, fine. He's literally
I know.
he's not even wearing like a vest or anything. He's wearing a freaking
Exactly. I
polo.
was a little worried. I was
Right?
a little worried about. We nobody wearing vest again.
Yeah, no, we're not good at this. We're not doing this again. So he takes out the gun and he goes to follow, and before he can even use his gun, he starts getting in a fight scene. He literally
Mhm.
gets into a fight, like punching the guy. The guy
Yeah.
knocks him down on
I
the
was like,
ground.
this guy was underestimating Reyes. If you knew anything about Reyes, you wouldn't want to get in a fight with him.
Legit. And for those of you who aren't aware, Reyes grew up in foster care, and unfortunately, the foster dad was abusive as frick, and made the kids box against each other.
Mhm.
But Reyes took that and turned it into good because now it helps him be a damn good cop.
Mhm.
And even on the ground, he was able to kick the guy down and get his gun and point it back at him.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's at one point where I was like, and then they transitioned back to Ayana and Jet, and I am freaking out because they're
Really
still
damaged.
shooting
Yeah. And they just
and
stop
they're trying to
and leave.
reload. And I was like, our girls are cornered. I was freaking out. I'm like, I can't have anything happen right now. Please, no. No, no. And no, no, Like, literally, my heart was racing the entire time. I was like, oh my god, something's gonna happen. Well, luckily, soon, all the guys, like, get a signal to leave, and they all start leaving. And Vargas does what he needs to do, and so they got what they needed, and then they all leave. Thank God.
Mhm.
And then another Danielle tweet. Belle is so tired of shooting at people.
Mhm.
Indeed. Indeed, ma'am. Then we get back to the house, and Joe Jr. is starting to go through withdrawal.
Mhm.
And at one point, the caretaker looks at Elliot, and they're talking about, like, how they're getting him to do this. And he says, like, he's talking about Randall, and he's telling Elliot, he said you were paying me. And literally, there's a pause for him to give this big smile on his face. It's like, oh, yeah. Oh boy.
Somebody's gonna pay this man.
They told Bernie that he was sick, so he had his blanket sent, the one that she made him when he was a kid. How cute.
I was like, how sweet.
We love Bernie. Bernie is a good mom.
She loves her boy.
She's really, like, we know it wasn't great when they were actually kids because of her bipolar disorder, but now she's trying to make amends, and she's trying to do better, and she is. Then, he starts talking about when they buried their dad, Joe Sr.
Did you jump by her?
And he looks at his, no.
Okay.
And he looks at both of them. And he goes, why didn't you come to the wake? And the two kind of stop and look at him. Because as of now, he still doesn't know that kind of man their father actually was. Randall and Elliot do.
Yeah.
Randall and Elliot wanted nothing to do with him when he died.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little shocked because I would understand why Randall wouldn't go, but I'm kind of.
Well, he didn't seem to be aware that there was a problem until he was crying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's blocked it from his memory, it seems like. The only time he ever mentions, like, his dad is, like, that episode where they make him go to therapy, and he's like, my dad, we did this class project, and then my dad got mad, I moved a tree, then he...
Yeah, so I was like, I understand, knowing what we know about Randall, I understand why he didn't go. But I was surprised that they didn't have Elliot go.
Because Elliot didn't seem to remember that any of this bad stuff happened, except that incident.
Yeah, and then Joe Jr. goes on to say, I think I broke that day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So Elliot has to go back to work, and Ayana says that she had an uncle that went through withdrawal, like Joe Jr. did. She knows it's not easy. Like, basically, she's offering her assistance. Jet has this, like, fun flowered pattern shirt. That's legit. I just like commenting on Jet's clothing. Then Trisha walks in and is mad at Elliot because Elliot didn't tell her about her brother. I mean, the brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know why. Just them looking at each other and them getting angry, and the way that he was looking at her and she was looking at him, I'm like, why did I think they were about to start kissing?
I don't know, no. Why did you get it?
I don't know. I'm weird, and it's fucking 10:30 at night, and I'm tired. But I don't know. Just the way he was looking was like.
I mean, he looked at her that all the time. That was a little weird.
The way he was looking at her was like his manipulative, charming type look, and I'm like,
yeah, he has that a lot.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, now I remember. After that, Elliot finally picks up Eli's call. And he's like, oh, I'm fine. I've been trying to get in contact with you. I really have to. Actually, he goes back home, and he finally picks up Eli's call. He's like, I really got to tell you something. actually, Becky and I need to tell you something. And then all of a sudden, we hear screaming in the
Because he's on
background.
because he's on the
And
way home. Eli's in the car on the way home with Becky and her stuff in the trunk, in the
yeah,
backseat. So
and like, Eli really was. I mean, Elliot really was gonna listen to this phone call, but then all of a
he's
sudden, we hear
ready this time.
screaming in the back, and Eli's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I gotta call you back." He's like, "Dad, I really have to tell you." No, nope.
Mm-hmm.
He
And then like the
he hangs
girlfriend, I
up
forgot what
and
her
he's
name
like,
is.
he turns to his girlfriend and Becky's like, "I hope he likes surprises."
Whatever it is. I mean, I think it's a baby, but you know,
Mm.
we'll find out, I guess.
Literally, the next thing is Joe Jr. There's broken glass. Joe Jr.
He's
has
going through the
jumped
movie
through the glass,
again.
freaking out, and Elliot like has to legit tackle him and
He
slam
like
him
chokes
down.
him. Somebody
And then
said
you see
there's a
Randall
meme. Somebody said on the timeline that like whoever fixes this window must be really tired of Elliot calling.
yeah,
You see
legit.
him
Sorry,
call again, they'd be like, man,
My window's broken again. Can you come fix
they'd
it?
be like,
No,
gotta
you're on
come
your
to this
own.
man's house again.
Um,
We gotta come to that man's house again.
and he immediately yells out, "Where's his cuffs?" And then like Randall walks
Like
out.
what the keeps saying.
He's bleeding, and he's like, "Yeah, I took them off, but he went nuts." And then want to be like, "Randall, why did you take them off?
Exactly.
I
He,
thought
he
you were,
tricked you. He was a little for it.
I thought you were the smart one."
Exactly. I was like, really? I thought you were the smart one.
And
I
then that's
really
when you
did.
get, that's when they get the caretaker to give him the sedative to calm down and like let him relax. And then he wakes back up
Mhm.
and he has the cuffs on again. He's like, "I feel like I got hit by a truck." And then Randall goes, "That was your brother. That was your brother."
Mhm. Yeah, so
They make a comment that Bernie is at Marines. And then they get into like a conversation of like, oh, who was Dad's favorite?
mhm.
And Joe Jr.'s like, "Oh, you, Elliot." He's like, "No, it was you." And Randall's like, "What? I'm not a part of this conversation." No.
Mhm.
All is
This one
going
comes
well.
in with the pizza.
Talking about like this
Then
restaurant
Elliot comes.
all used to go to too, and like, nice little brotherly conversation. And everything's fine. And Elliot's like, "All right, I'm gonna go get some food." So he goes to get some pizza, and he comes back. He
He
says
gets
something,
extra anchovies, and I think that's disgusting, but okay.
which is, I don't know if
This
he
is
did that as a joke or if one of them actually likes it, or
that's
maybe
the
if it's
best.
like a withdrawal thing. Well, Randall turns around.
His
He's got
nose is
dripping from his face.
it's from his nose particularly. He's got a bloody nose. He's just
And Randall's like, "What?" And Elliot's like, "What happened?" And he's like, he said he was doing good and that he was fine. And so I cuffed him again and he punched me and ran away.
it's Randall.
Randall, I thought you were the smart one. What the
Why?
heck?
Why'd you do it?
And so Elliot literally has to go find his brother. And he finds him like on a rooftop. And he
I was
says,
kind of scared for him on this rooftop.
yeah, I
Anything
was
could
like,
have happened.
oh,
Oh,
crap.
oh, it's just,
Claims that he got clean on his own and he wants to help them take down Redcoat. And Elliot's like,
no,
no, no,
no, you know,
no.
no.
And he goes on to like be like,
Because
yeah,
there's a little bit, and before he gets in the where he's on his way there, and Elliot, I mean Joe Jr. like is about to go into the glove compartment for his little kid, but then he doesn't do it.
yeah,
Gosh,
and legit Elliot, like, before they get into more
it's
things
like,
about
come
memory,
here.
he goes into say like, "I scared Ma. Like, I'm never
Mm.
gonna forget what I did to
The
her."
look on it, yeah.
The look on her face, like that real like he realized that was the thing that he realized, "Oh my God, I have a problem."
Mm-hmm.
Meaning he loves his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Elliot makes him promise, be like, if things go bad, you gotta stop.
yeah, if things go bad, like we're pulling you out, like then you need to leave it to the cops. And he's like, no.
Okay.
And then he goes on and he lists this whole list of information. It's like, did the cops know any of that? No, I do. So he's like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get this information for you. And Elliot's like, he's like, what am I, 10? Elliot goes, in my mind, you are, common older brother, little brother things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And then I got it mixed up. That's when he starts apologizing for everything he's done. And he hate how he scared Bernie. And Elliot's like, he's got to stop. And then, so,
And
he
then they
goes
go do
to,
another little mission.
yeah, he goes on a little mission and he goes to talk to the security guard. And the security guard is like, where have you been? And the guy's like,
He's like, that was good.
I was out. Like, what? I can't be out.
He's like, don't worry.
He's talking to the guy. Then there's no signal because Reyes is on the roof
With one of those spy cams.
with a little spy cam. And Elliot and Leon are outside, ready to go in at a moment's notice. He's like, there's no signal. So Elliot and Ayana are about to go in. And then Reyes is like, hold on, I got it. Oh, actually, no, there's no signal. And they find out the guy has a gun. So they're like, okay, we're going in. And then Reyes is like, I got it. Because then the guy says, and killing a cop, Joe Jr. says, and killing a cop makes you a blind servant. I'm like, oh my God, did he just give himself away? But now I'm like, he's got that little piece in his pocket. And he like punches the dude and like gets him on the ground. He's like, don't you ever question me. Try that again. And you won't you won't learn to regret it.
I know. I was like,
ooh, dang. So once again, way to go, Michael.
mm-hmm.
Yes, Michael Trotter. He's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like Teddy was a good character, but this character is like, I don't know, this character is so then after the mission, Elliot goes home, Eli's home, Becky's there. He's like, okay, now we're gonna
Eli's cleaning up the glass. Eli's cleaning up the glass because the glass is still on the ground.
Yeah. He goes and they're like, they're moving back to New York. That's their surprise. They're moving back to New York together. And we're moving back here. We're staying with you. And Elliot's like,
it's like, he doesn't get time to respond. He kind of just like,
he's like, no, like legit. I bet inside his head, he's like, no, not now. No, nope.
Everything else going on.
Everything else going on. No.
Oh.
And then, we're they go back to the bureau, and Jet is looking into all the information they got from the computer. And she pulls up this giant online queue. And I look into it, and it isn't just like online queue, it's literally a queue, an online auction for buying the illicit substances.
And weapons.
But also weapons. And weapons of mass destruction.
And then you go,
and then they're all staring at it, and Ayana goes, holy hell.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Ayana's scared, that means it's very bad. It's not good. It's not good at all. I give this episode 3.5. Actually,
yeah, 4. It's better than the last one.
I give it 4.
It's better than the last one. The last one I gave 3.
Okay, what's the thing? I know the next episode
Stabler's Lament.
Stabler's Lament, which
why? We'll find out.
Out of me.
A little concerned, but
a lament is nothing good. So no.
Exactly.
No.
Hold on. Pause. I gotta pause. Read this. Stop it. Hold on. I have another reading. I need to pause so I can read it. I don't know why my iPad is blinking.
Yeah, you gotta read
so it's oops. Hold on. It says, hold on. I don't know why my iPad's being tripping. iPad.
I will say the
When
promo,
ATF when the ATF Bureau plans to raid Redcoat's warehouse, Trisha promises to help Stabler keep Joe Jr. safe. Bill comes face to face with the man who killed Sam. Another Stabler family dinner causes tension to run high.
did they not learn from the first one? Why do they
So
think this
then
one's?
in the
Why do
trailer,
they
they got
think?
all hands on deck here.
Why do they think this one's
Yeah,
gonna go
when
any better?
they're worried about Joe Jr. double crossing them. There's only line about that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the promo itself doesn't make you think it's a season finale, but like
They're worried
there's gonna
about
be
Joe
a lot
Jr.
more than what the promo is showing us.
Yeah, and Joe Jr. They're really worried about Joe Jr. double crossing them.
Yeah, some people
That is
think
the
he's
like
not gonna.
big.
Some people think he's not gonna make it out of this, and
Someone's not gonna make it
I
out of
don't know.
that.
There's gotta be a reason it says lament, and we don't know why, but not good.
No.
Um. Also, I for one hope Ayana gets some revenge because the last time she met with a guy who killed a cop that she was close with, like Elliot basically had to intervene and make
Yeah.
sure she wasn't gonna kill him.
Mhm.
I think it's about at this point, Bella's fed up with everything.
Mhm.
That I don't think that's gonna be any concern for her this time. Like she's gonna want justice for Sam.
Mhm.
Um. Also, you would think the Stabler family would learn from the first time they had a dinner together, but no. Apparently, we're trying again.
I mean, much like family dinner and intervention. That was three fingers. Just
Yeah.
not their
So
thing.
there's a few ways this family dinner could go. A. Terrence theory: Eli and Becky are having a baby, which is probably plausible. B. Something about Joe Jr. getting
It
clean,
gets
like
leaked out at the dinner table.
either leaked out at the dinner table or kind of starts falling apart. And C. Something with Bernie. Don't know what
Could
it
be
is.
all the above. We'll find out.
Or D. For once, it's actually about Elliot and shit's gonna hit the fan. Who knows?
Mhm.
Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, um, it is official that season 5 of Organized Crime is going to be on Peacock.
Yeah. It'll be 10 episodes. We don't know when.
So yes, there are pros and cons to that. Unfortunately, we only get 10 episodes. 3 less than this season.
Okay.
It's not going to
We
be
can
on
watch them all
TV.
at one time.
You're gonna No, if I try doing that, I can't do that. I'm gonna have to pace myself. I'm hoping they release it week by week. Like,
It kind of depends on the kind of shows.
yeah, I'm hoping they release it week by week, like they do with the act, like if it was
Mm.
on TV, because I'm not gonna be able to
We'll find out, I guess.
control
Like when
myself
they start
if you give
filming, I
me
guess.
10
Who knows when that will be?
episodes of all of them at once.
I'm a binge watcher though, so I would watch them all at one time. But
Well, if we want to do our podcast, we have to do it one by one.
we could do like two at a time because the episode would be released with maybe like two at a time.
Okay, we'll figure it out in the fall when we figure
Yeah,
it out.
it's
So
time to
yes,
figure it out.
going to Peacock, yes, you'll get a new Peacock to be able to watch it. It's not going to be on TV. Now we also find out what is taking the 10 o'clock slot, and as I mentioned earlier, it makes me a little less mad because Found is a good show, and it still
So
kind of fits with
the
the mother
crime drama night.
view and the crime drama and everything.
It'll be good.
But what is more importantly, as Danielle said, they all still have jobs. They all still get to film another season. And that means they kind of have more time to do other projects and be with their families.
Yeah, because a lot of the time streaming shows, they film them all at one time. They do take like a month or two, depending how long the show is, and they just knock it out one time.
Yes, so Danielle can spend more time with her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Ainsley, can you
Everyone
go
else can do.
Ainsley, can you go audition
Everyone
for
can do stuff.
please?
Yeah,
Please.
they can. Everyone else can do projects and such. And they have time.
Like if Chris has time to do a movie,
Yeah.
While they're
They voice
filming
act in the
the
movie.
movie. Now, imagine what they're all going to be able to do when they have more time.
Yeah. That movie comes out soon. If comes out next week.
Yeah. And yes, as if it's not already, funny enough, his character is literally a detective
Yes.
that
It's pretty
yells,
funny actually. Accurate.
and just like dealing with theories, and it's like that isn't so accurate. So yes, we still get more organized crime. We don't know what it's gonna look like or what what the plot's gonna be, but season
We
5
never
is
really
just
know.
happening.
Yeah, at some point.
So yay!
I know when.
We don't have to lose our babies yet.
So,
We still get our badass sergeant
mm,
and our character, which we call our baby, even though she is definitely not a baby. She's a badass. And I don't really know. Hopefully everything else stays the same, but who the frick knows at this point?
we will let you know when we know.
Yes.
Because we'll be making content over the summer. When we get news. We can make YouTube videos.
So everything's Thursday. Buckle up.
Hopefully we won't take a month of filming.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be okay this time, but who knows?
Not taking a month later. Yeah.
Let's hope we're okay this time.
We can only hope.
Yeah, legit. We can only hope. Please. 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 Anything else?
No.
All right. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Also, when you listen on YouTube, there's a cool thing that happens when you say like, the little like button like glows. So like,
Oh, we get a glowy thing.
I don't know if it works for everyone videos, but no, when I watch another YouTuber, when he says like, the like button
glowy
lights up.
things.
So make sure you hit the like button so
Terryn
you can
is
see it
with all
glow.
the
Every time you
graphics.
say like, it'll make it glow. So make
Terryn
sure
is
you like the video.
very creative with the graphics and the glowy things.
I don't control that. Actually, YouTube does a glowy thing. So I made the graphics. I gotta make our podcast season 4 cover at some point. I have time to do that. Because I make the channel
Yes.
art.
We
If you
will
want us
still
ideas
have
for YouTube videos, please let
we
us
will
know.
still have content over the summer, but we're going to have a new season when the show start up again.
So there'll be a lot of more YouTube exclusive videos.
As far as we know, they're all coming back in the fall this time.
Yeah. And pretty much every show we watch, is all coming back in the fall.
Yeah, we'll come back in the fall. Mm.
I think that's all we got. Tomorrow's my
Oh,
birthday.
I was gonna say, spread the word that if you have friends and family that watch organized crime, tell them to keep watching next season. I know it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take some getting used to.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
I'm definitely going
Give it
to
a
need
chance.
some time to get used to it, but give it a chance. We still have the show. It's still here.
Give it a chance. It might be good. It'll probably be good.
And then
So I think
that's it. We'll see you guys for the finale episode soonish.
Next week.
Hopefully.
Yep. I'm gonna edit this.
Once again, Terryn's birthday is tomorrow, so give
Have you
her
passed my birthday when you listen to this?
Okay. Well, if you didn't give her love already, do it now.
So make sure you like, give us comments, and subscribe.
Thank you for listening, guys. We love you.
Yes, you can leave us a nice donation in the description and the bio. All of our socials are out in there. So you can check us out on Instagram. And I haven't been bad at the Instagram, but we're always on Twitter. Always, like every day, I have a problem.
All right, I think that's it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever you do.
Love you.
I love you all. We will
Love
see
you all.
you all next week. Next week. Stop recording.